I raised her like my own, but for 3 long years, my stepdaughter refused to speak to me. Then one morning, she said just one word. Yes. What followed was not just emotional, it was terrifying. And it all began with a photo and a woman standing by a grave who should not have been there. The wind was sharp that morning. It sliced through the trees like whispered warnings. Leaves, yellow and brittle, skittered across the driveway. I stood at the edge of the porch, coffee in hand, heart pounding. Today was the day. She had agreed to talk. Finally. 3 years since her mother, my wife, passed. 3 years of silence, glares, and doors slammed without a word. 3 years of trying, failing, and holding back tears when no one watched. The front door creaked open behind me. I turned. There she was. Ella. 18, fierce and fragile, just like her mother. She stepped outside, arms folded tight across her chest.
She did not look at me.
I just want to understand, I said softly. The words hung in the crisp air like a prayer. She nodded once. A small, hesitant gesture. But it meant everything. We walked to the garden bench, her mother's favorite spot. The one with peeling white paint and vines crawling like veins along its legs. We sat. Silence grew heavy. Only the sound of birds and faraway cars filled the gap between us. I hated you, she finally said. Each word landed like a stone in my chest. I blamed you for everything. Her voice trembled, not with rage, but something deeper.
Grief.
I thought you were trying to replace her. She clenched her fists. I thought you would forget her. That you wanted me to forget her too. I closed my eyes. The ache in my throat burned. I never could, I whispered. I loved her. And I love you too. Even if you never accept me. She turned to me slowly. Her eyes, swollen and red, locked onto mine. And then, something unexpected happened. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a folded photo. A picture of the three of us. Her mother, laughing. Ella, beaming. And me, awkwardly grinning, arms around them both. She used to keep this in her diary, she said. I found it last week. Her fingers traced the edge of the image. She wrote on the back, "He is not perfect, but he tries." That is enough for me. And I hope one day for her too. A sob broke from her throat. My arms trembled as I reached toward her, but stopped. I waited. Then she leaned forward, wrapped her arms around me, and said, "Yes." The world froze. The wind stopped. Even the sky seemed to hold its breath. "Yes, I will try." Her voice cracked, but it was the most beautiful thing I had ever heard. Her warmth pressed against my chest. Her heartbeat echoed in mine. But just as relief washed over me, she pulled back. Her face turned pale. Her eyes locked onto something behind me. "Who is that?" she whispered. I turned slowly, and what I saw made my blood run cold. Standing by the tree, in the exact spot where we buried her mother's ashes, was a woman, wearing her dress, and smiling. My breath caught in my throat. The coffee cup slipped from my hand and shattered against the stone path. I did not even flinch. Ella stood, frozen beside me. Her hand reached instinctively for mine. I felt the sweat in her palm. Or maybe it was mine. The woman by the tree did not move. The wind picked up again, rustling the leaves around her feet. But her dress, her mother's favorite blue dress, remained still, unmoved. "I packed that dress away," Ella whispered. "I remember, we folded it together." Her voice wavered, barely audible. "It was in the cedar chest, in the attic." I nodded slowly. I locked the chest. I could still remember the weight of the key in my hand, the way I turned it after we cried ourselves empty that day. Yet there she was, wearing it. The woman stepped forward, closer to the edge of the shadow, where the sunlight met the trees. Her face. God, her face. It was both familiar and strange. Not quite my wife. Not exactly someone else. "Is this a dream?" Ella asked. But I could not answer. The weight in my chest was too great. Every muscle screamed to run. But I stayed. The woman raised one hand. A slow, gentle wave. like how my wife used to wave goodbye every morning before work. And suddenly, the air shifted. Not colder, but thicker. Like the world was holding back a scream. She is not real, I muttered. She cannot be real. Ella took a trembling step forward, then stopped. I saw her. In my dream last night. Her eyes widened. She said she wanted to come home. My knees buckled. I dropped to the bench, gripping the edge like it was the only thing anchoring me to the earth. This could not be happening. This was not grief. This was something else. I think she's trying to say something, Ella whispered. Her eyes never left the woman.
Look.
Her hand. The woman was pointing now. Not at us, but to the ground, right beneath the tree, where we had buried the small urn. Ella stepped forward again. I reached out, tried to stop her, but she was already moving. Her feet crunched over dead leaves. She stopped at the base of the tree. Then, without hesitation, she knelt
And began to dig.
with her bare hands, with quiet determination. And just as her fingers struck something, the woman vanished. Not with a flash, not with a sound, just gone. Ella stared into the shallow hole and slowly pulled something out. A box. Wooden. Small. Not the urn. It was something else entirely. She opened it
And gasped.
Inside was a letter, sealed in an envelope marked with her name, in her mother's handwriting. Ella held the letter like it might break. Her fingers trembled as she slid a nail beneath the seal. I sat motionless on the bench, watching, waiting, hardly breathing. She unfolded the paper slowly. A faint scent rose from it, lavender. Her mother's perfume, still clinging to the pages after all this time. Ella's eyes scanned the words. Silent tears spilled over her cheeks. Then she began to read aloud. My dearest Ella, if you are reading this, it means life has taken turns I did not plan for. And it means you are strong enough now to hear what I could never say out loud. Her voice cracked. She wiped her face and kept reading. Do not shut him out. He is not perfect, but he loves deeply. He has tried every day to fill the silence I left behind, not with noise, but with presence. I looked down, blinking away tears I could no longer hold. The words hit me harder than anything I had ever known. I know your heart is heavy, Ella. But when you are ready, let it be light again. Let love back in. She folded the letter and hugged it to her chest. The garden was still now. Even the wind had quieted. Ella turned to me. Her eyes, red and swollen, were steady. She walked back to the bench, sat beside me, and leaned her head against my shoulder. She wanted us to be okay, she said. I nodded. I think maybe we are. The sun broke through the clouds. A single ray spilled over the tree, casting soft light over the disturbed earth. And, in that moment, the silence between us was no longer empty. It was full of memory, full of love, and full of the quiet, powerful grace of letting go. We stayed like that for a long time, not speaking, not needing to, because in the end, she said yes, not just to me, but to hope,
To healing.
and to the life still waiting to be lived.